Hi guys, my name is Kevin Shaw and I'll be doing the Stand Your Ground Law today. This is for my advanced public speaking class. It is my proposal speech. I want to change this law. So what it is, I'm going to be talking to you about what it is, because stand your ground, you're like, what? What is it? Oh, stand your ground. Yeah, I know you want to protect your space. You don't want people to come in your space. Like, get away from me. Don't threaten me. When you do, I'll stand my space. It's not necessarily like that. What it is it's Florida Stand Your Ground Law. It was passed in 2005, and it was passed in order to protect people in the event that they were being harmed, and they could meet people with force rather than retreat. So if somebody was threatening them with a gun, they had a gun of their own in order to protect themselves, and they wouldn't have to worry about having to retreat before firing at the person who was threatening them. So this is Castle Doctrine laws. So a person does not need to retreat if their home is being attacked. So that is the law right now. So if you're on your own personal property and you fire back at somebody, you do not need to retreat before having to fire at them. So I'm going to be talking to you about the number of homicides in Florida and even in the US. So I'm going to explain this map to you. So as you see, this is a map right here. All the darker states have shoot first laws. Now you're going to be like, what is a shoot first law? Can I shoot first and then get away? No, it's not like that. It's law in place. And as you can see here, all these darker states have the stand your ground law. They have the basic law, so you can use it anywhere. There's no certain place where this law is in place. So if you're at home, whether you're on the road, it doesn't really matter. You can use it anywhere and you'll still be fine. The other lighter states, as you can see, Wisconsin and Missouri, those states, you have to do it from your own personal property. So whether it's from your house, whether it's from your car, whether it's from any of your personal property, that's the only time you can use it. Otherwise, the law doesn't really stand into effect. Personally, I think that the law in that situation is better, because you could be threatening somebody and shoot them, but you shouldn't be able to do this anywhere, because if they're threatening your personal property and really threatening you, it's fine, but you can't abuse the law. That's not right. And if you look at it, 7 additional states allow deadly force in public, and they don't have to worry about retreating before they use this. An interesting fact, matter of fact, is in 5 years after the shoot first was passed in 2005, from 2000 to 2005, there was no law and 12 people were killed. After, from 2006 to year 2010, 3 times the amount of people were killed. So people were being killed more. There were more tragedies. There was more problems happening because of the shoot first law. So I believe that there should be stricter gun policy. I don't really believe in guns personally, but I believe there should be stricter gun policy, because currently our system allows for certain people to be getting guns when they shouldn't have them in the first place. People have mental health issues, they have past criminal histories, they have lots of stuff. And when you give a gun to somebody like that, they may not be able to use the gun in a proper way. They may end up hurting themselves and other people around them. If we do not fix this gun policy, there will be more tragedies. If you put guns in the hands of right people, like policemen deserve guns and certain people deserve guns, then you won't have to worry about civilians being killed unnecessarily. The chances of that happening go way down if you implement a stricter gun policy. So this is the state of permitless carry. So not being trusted with it, you shouldn't have it in the first place. So I'm going to be talking about the Castle Doctrine. So it's also known as the Castle Law, or Defensive Habitation Law. So basically what it's saying is, everybody who's on their private property and they need protection. So in order to get these protections, you're allowed to have guns on this private property because it's your own private property. You're allowed to use force. In other circumstances, you're not allowed to use force. However, with this castle doctrine, you are allowed to use force. It's the exact opposite of this duty to retreat, because here it's more you're using it on your own personal properties, but duty to retreat has to do with you not necessarily being on your personal property or being in your personal space. So I'm going to be talking about George Zimmerman, as seen on the left, versus Trayvon Martin, seen on the right. This was a case that took place in Sanford, Florida, which is right near the city of Orlando, Florida. What happened was George Zimmerman was the night watch guy at a house. He was a community night watch guy. And Trayvon Martin was nearby with his hoodie up. He had a Skittles and he had an Arizona iced tea in his hand. I don't really know the story per se, but the story is that George Zimmerman, thought that Trayvon Martin was endangering the community, so he decided to shoot him. After this happened, he faced a trial of manslaughter. After facing a trial of manslaughter and murder, he ended up being found not guilty. The jury found him not guilty of this crime. So now I'm going to be talking about how the law should be changed. So the important points that I went over is, people should not have guns, but it should not be if you feel threatened. So basically what it's saying is, the law should not be if you feel threatened, because threatened is a very gray area, because people don't know what threatened is. I don't believe in people having guns in the first place, but if you do use it, it's not because you feel threatened. Threatened needs to be specified as to what it is, because I can come up to you and shoot you and say I was threatened, but you're abusing the law. There has to be a proper application of the law. So people can hurt themselves and people they are with. So if I have a gun, I'm threatening people's safety around me. Nobody feels comfortable when you have a gun, because when you have a gun, you have the right to kill somebody at that time with that gun. You're giving yourself the right to kill somebody. And I believe that this is so wrong, because why should anybody have to die early because somebody was being stupid? You know, there should be stricter gun policy, and this law should be changed so that you use it if you're threatened, properly threatened. So that way people don't feel unsafe and the gun will be used properly. And further background checks. So people should have further background checks. I feel like this society today, people can have mental problems, people can find ways to get guns, and they may not be mentally stable. If they're not mentally stable, they're not right. And there are more chances of them killing somebody or putting somebody else in danger because they don't know how to use a gun, or they're not planning to use the gun in a proper way. Mental health problems are a serious issue in this country, and you need to have those treated before you can even have a gun in the first place. And you should not have to be able to be a criminal and still have a gun. Because if you're a criminal, that means that you're showing yourself as a bad person. If you've shown yourself as a bad person, then you shouldn't have a gun, because the chance of you hurting somebody else is very high based on your past criminal record. These were my points. This is what I think. I'm so glad you guys were here to listen to my speech today. Sorry if nobody has any questions, but thank you. Have a nice day.